Hello there, guys. This is MichaelBtheGameGenie, and today I'm celebrating my 1-year anniversary here on YouTube. And I thought there's no better way to celebrate than to share my top 10 games for the system I talk about more than anything else. The Nintendo Entertainment System.
Do you know about the best-selling game system in the world? About Nintendo Game System? Do you know about games that will swipe you off your feet like you're really in them, with real sound and real pictures that come out and hit you in the face? Games that'll challenge you till you explode with excitement.
I can restore life. I can get magic. I can.
Games that you'll never want to put down, that'll dare you and captivate you. With so much action, you'll be absorbed by them until you're sucked into your television set.
As most people know by now, I'm a big Nintendo fanboy. In fact, I'm going for a complete collection, and I currently have almost 400 games in my NES library. And with 400 games to pick from, it's just so hard to choose only 10 that are the absolute best. So what I've done for this top 10 list is something a little bit different. Instead of picking the top 10 games based on their technical prowess, I've just picked the top 10 games that I play the most regularly and have played for the last 20 plus years. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Number 10.
Contra. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. The Konami code was made synonymous with Contra due to its incredible difficulty. I've never beat this game without using the code, and it's only because of its difficulty that it isn't higher on my list. Contra is easily one of the most addictive games to play, alone or especially with a friend. Ported from the arcade and slightly modified for the NES, Contra is an action platformer that showcases some of the very best gameplay, music, and controls on the system. One of the best features in Contra are the power-ups, such as the almighty spread shot, which makes the game's challenge reasonable. Unfortunately, you lose the power-up when you die, so if I ever finish the game, it will have to be without losing the spread shot.
Number 9.
Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. The Adventure of Link may be billed as a sequel to The Legend of Zelda, but other than the storyline and characters, this is a completely different experience, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Instead of the top-down style we are familiar with, Zelda 2 is an action platformer that blends in some RPG elements. While most people don't give this game much credit, I'm sure that's because of its vastly different gameplay and early difficulty. But if you look past these two items, you will realize that you're playing one of the most unique and enjoyable games in the franchise. The game features an experience and level system that enable you to increase your health, magic, and attack. After some hard grinding, and hopefully the lucky P-Bag, your levels will increase, and you can more comfortably start exploring the wonderfully designed dungeons and world, and enjoying this fantastic experience.
Number 8.
Ninja Gaiden. Gaiden? Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden is an action platformer released by Tecmo in 1988 for the NES that enters the world of Ryu Hayabusa. Known for its relentless challenge, great music, and strong gameplay, Ninja Gaiden is probably best known for its between-level cutscenes. These storyboard sequences showcase some of the best graphics on the system, and were necessary to tell the complex and somewhat bizarre storyline. Ryu sets out on a mission to avenge the death of his father, and ends up in a plot that threatens the entire world, and you will have to slice, jump, climb your way through 20 stages to save it. Getting through them is no easy feat, as the levels become progressively more difficult, and the jumps are usually directly into a waiting enemy. Thankfully, there are some great power-ups such as the ninja stars along the way that cut down on this challenge. You also have the ability to cling to walls, which is essential to progress through the levels, and is very cool. However, it seems like whenever I miss a jump, I get stuck in a wall with no way back. I personally find the game extremely difficult and have never finished it, but that same challenge keeps me coming back again and again.
Number 7.
Woohoo! DuckTales. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. DuckTales, woohoo! This may very well be one of the best licensed games of all time. DuckTales is the pinnacle of the Capcom Disney games and is yet again another platformer. However, DuckTales isn't your typical platformer, as it uses a very interesting pogo stick-like mechanic with Scrooge and his cane that not only lets you jump higher and continuously, but it is also your attack in the game. This mechanic can take a little getting used to, but when you do, it's just so much fun to bounce throughout the level. The level design itself is actually very unique, as each stage has many diverging paths that you will have to explore to find hidden treasure and the correct path to the level's boss battle. I would be truly remiss if I didn't mention the game's music, which is some of the very best on the NES. Not only do you get an 8-bit version of the DuckTales theme, we also get the Moon theme, which is an unmistakable masterpiece. While certainly not the hardest game on the system, and one I have finished countless times, I keep going back and playing it again and again. It's just that much fun.
Number 6.
Super Mario Bros. 2. This was the very first game I ever owned, and the very first game I played. I have played and purchased thousands of games since, but Super Mario Bros. 2 always seems to find a way back into my playing rotation. Before anyone comments, I'm aware that this isn't really a Mario game, and it's basically a game called Doki Doki Panic, with the lead characters replaced. I do not care if it's Mario or not, it is simply a fantastic game. The gameplay is truly unique, allowing you to dispatch enemies with projectiles found in the levels, not to mention the enemies themselves can become projectiles. The level design is really something special, with a really interesting mix of vertical and horizontal scrolling platforming, sometimes attached with a chase mechanic if you're bringing a key to unlock a door. I really am fond of the visual presentation, as the bright, vibrant colors just seem to pop off the screen, and the music, like the rest of the Mario series, is simply fantastic. While it may not be a Mario game, it's one of the biggest reasons I am such a Mario and NES fanboy today.
Number 5.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Finally, a game made this list that isn't a platformer. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is arguably the funnest sports title of all time, and so much of that has to do with the amazing controls, fun atmosphere, and some of the best character design of all time. Graphically, this game is very impressive, and that is probably surprising to some people as the backgrounds are so bland. But what I'm talking about is the boxers themselves. Punch-Out was one of the first games I can remember where the character movements and facial expressions are so intricate and detailed that they follow the progression of the fight. It's just fun to watch. These animations are done so well, and that is so important because the characters' animations play directly into the gameplay as a tell of what action you should take. Knowing the enemy's weaknesses based on their movement is the key to beating Punch-Out, and it has so much replayability as you keep trying to beat your previous times on enemies. I always have a good time playing Punch-Out, that is unless I hear the dreaded laugh of Soda Popinski.
Number 4.
Castlevania. Anyone who watches my channel should not be surprised to see Castlevania on this list. What is surprising is that I actually didn't like Castlevania when I first played it. I just found it too hard. But the classic horror theme, great gameplay, and fantastic music kept bringing me back, and I am so glad it did because Castlevania is one of my favorite games of all time. It is just such a well-designed platformer that has amazing graphics for the NES era. I especially appreciate the scrolling background and stage tree that shows you approaching the castle. Music plays such a huge role in my enjoyment of this game. Right from the start, Vampire Killer starts playing, and I am just engrossed in the game. Not to mention in Stage 3 when we hear Wicked Child, which is easily my favorite NES theme of all time. The game is challenging, but with unlimited continues, it allows you to continue trying until you figure out the pattern, or just get lucky. I could tell you so many reasons why I love this game, but in the end, the best reason is because it's Castlevania.
Number 3.
Super Mario Bros. 3. What? This isn't my number 1 game? I know, it's one of the greatest NES games ever, and many people consider it to be the best Mario game ever made, which is truly saying a lot. I'm obviously not saying I don't like Super Mario Bros. 3, and to be honest, it's very close between all my top 3. Either one could have been my number 1, but let's get back to Super Mario Bros. 3. Going back to the original gameplay style that makes Mario a household name, and also adding new power-ups, world maps, Koopa Kids, and of course one of the hardest final stages in gaming history made Super Mario Bros. 3 everything it was hyped up to be. I will never forget getting this game for my 10th birthday, and it was the only thing I played for 4 or 5 months. In fact, it was the only thing any of my friends were playing too at that time. I think everybody's favorite feature was the raccoon tail that would allow Mario to fly for short periods of time, exploring the sky above the levels and finding new secrets. In fact, I've been playing this game for 22 years, and I'm still finding new secrets today.
Number 2.
The Legend of Zelda. No gaming series is more near and dear to my heart than The Legend of Zelda, and of course I'm a very big fan of the original of the NES. The Legend of Zelda was the very first open world game I could ever remember playing, and I got lost quite a few times trying to find the next dungeon. But I was more lost in the immersive experience of exploration and adventure the game provided. As soon as you step out of the cave with sword in hand, the music hits and it's off to find the next dungeon. Next Triforce piece, next heart piece, item to use, wall to blow up. Man, there's just so much to do in this game. Also, the visual presentation of the game was fantastic. The top-down view created a depth perception to the overworld and dungeons that aided in exploration, and created unique attack patterns for the enemies. I find it extremely hard to stop playing The Legend of Zelda when I start, and I will usually finish the game in one sitting. It's just that good.
Number 1.
Mega Man 2. That's right, Mega Man 2 is my favorite NES game. While this may be a surprise for most, it shouldn't be if you've been following me for the last year. From the minute I started playing Mega Man 2, I knew there was something special about this game. The first stage I ever tried and ever beat was Flashman, and believe it or not, he is always the first level I face whenever I turn on the game. I think everybody has a different strategy for playing through the levels, and that is thanks to the ability to level select on the title screen, which is the first time I have ever seen this in a game. Of course, Mega Man 2 is just doing what Mega Man did, but perfected in my opinion. The abilities were just a little better and played a bigger role in getting through the level, such as using Flashman's power to stop the lasers in Quickman stage, or using the crash bombs to get through a wall. Then of course there is the Metal Blade, which may be the most overpowering weapon in any Mega Man game. Last but not least, it had the best music in the series, as each stage's music was fantastic and set the tone for the stage. In short, Mega Man 2 is a total package. Great music, fantastic controls, great stage design. I can go on and on. Simply put, Mega Man 2 is just my favorite game to play on the NES. So guys, those are my top 10 games to play for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I know this probably isn't exactly like your list, and what I advise you to do is, hey, feel free to leave a comment down below on what your list would be, or if you want to, feel free to make a video response. Anyways guys, this is MichaelBtheGameGenie. Thank you so much for sticking with me for 1 year, and I'll talk to you next time. Hey everybody, I just did want to take a moment to say thank you so much. This past year on YouTube has been just about everything I could have imagined it to be. In the first year, I've already had 100 videos, and then I had 2 great people that made a collaboration video with me to celebrate that, and thank you so much. I also reached 1,000 subscribers within my first year, and then I had 17 actually, great people on YouTube that I had met over the course of this past year that made videos for me. And that leads into the best thing. I mean, I currently sit at around 1,200 subscribers. I'm subscribed to a bunch of people myself, and on top of that, I've made some really great friendships. So I'm remiss because I'm forgetting something too. Also, I want to say thank you so much to Gamester81 for allowing me to come on and put my videos on his channel. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I can't tell you enough how happy I am with my first year on YouTube, the friendships I've made, and the people I've connected with. Thank you very much.